told me not to make this video. Somebody was like, oh my god, you're literally gonna like hire the great boundaries for yourself, you're only gonna hurt yourself. And I'm like, yeah, but like sharing's caring, you know, like Hello guys, it's Danny, and probably more welcome than welcome back to most of you guys watching this video. So for those of you who haven't come from TikTok, I basically made this TikTok a couple of days ago explaining how I basically reprogrammed my mind to enjoy studying. And a lot of you were asking how I do that, and by a lot of people I mean a lot of people. So I just thought I would make a YouTube video instead of a TikTok because I thought it would be a little bit easier. I don't have to miss out any details, and most of all I don't have to make it in like several different parts on TikTok because I know that's just really annoying. So here we are, and I'm going to explain everything that I think you need to know. So I'll be splitting this video into 4 little sections just for structure and sort of like so I don't miss anything out. So part 1, the science behind addiction. And by addiction I was referring to the reason why people get addicted is because of the hit of a neurotransmitter called dopamine. So dopamine is essentially the like happy chemical in your brain which will associate with pleasure. So say like hugs give you dopamine, and laughing, like all of those things bring about dopamine. So obviously it's a good thing. So essentially what I mean by it being addicted to studying is getting that same level of chemical release. I think a big issue with studying is the fact that people have a negative connotation to it, and I think it comes from the fact that we as humans struggle with something called delayed gratification. So essentially like when the pleasure that you receive for something isn't instant. If you choose not to study and you go out with your friends, for example, you have a really good day, you have a good time, and that's that, and that is obviously very good. But then when you're studying, even though you're not having that same initial hit and rush of dopamine or in general like happiness, you tend to sort of like think that studying isn't going to give you that same amount of happiness, when in reality when you think about it, if you study you're going to get good grades, you're going to get a good job, and then have loads of money, and then I'm gonna be happy anyways. But I think delayed gratification is something that you definitely need to consider when it comes to studying, and just sort of remember that you are doing it for a greater good, and even if it sometimes feels annoying, you've got to try and see it as a good thing. I know it's really hard. Honestly, this whole process is very much like fake it till you make it. During the first few days and weeks even, when I was like, oh, get to study now, like obviously you're gonna feel dumb, like you're gonna feel really dumb. I think the moment that you start bringing back that positive connotation to studying, you're gonna find it so much easier to sit down and get stuff done. And you should be feeling so lucky that like, oh my god, I can sit down right now and I can bring my dream reality, and all the money and success and everything that you've ever wanted is going to get closer to you if you do your work. So I think it's just about bringing that connotation from a negative one to a positive one when it comes to doing work. I've recently been going through a little bit of a shift in life. I have began my journey into like spirituality and law of attraction and manifestation, all of those good things, which I'm not going to bring too much into this video. I don't want to make it the central focus because I don't want you guys to think that like do the 369 method and write it out this many times and then it's just going to come to you. Like, as much as I do believe in manifestation and I have like real life proof that it works, you need to be actively doing stuff. Like, you can't just write down I'm gonna get 3 A stars and then just go back to scrolling on TikTok, you know? So as I say, let me know if you guys would like to see that in another video, and I'm more than happy to make one. Anyways, on the topic of manifestation and law of attraction, I am going to talk about actually having a goal to look forward to. So I was actually very unmotivated for the like first half of this academic year. I'm in year 12 for those of you who don't know, so I've just started my A-levels. And for the first like 6 months or so, I was especially unmotivated because I didn't really know what I wanted to do in life. I think it's really hard to keep yourself motivated when you have nothing to work towards. So I feel like the first thing that you should do is, if you know what job you want to do or like what university you want to, go for it. Finding like the exact degree that I want to do and all of the universities that I want to go to, and like just having something to picture of like, okay, if I study, then I'm one step closer to getting a place at UCL or King in London for my chosen degree. Like, that helped me so much because I've actually got something to actively work towards. Like, make a vision board. Now, again, I know this is going down the whole like law of attraction manifestation route. Like, law of attraction or otherwise, I think vision boards are so like great as like a motivator. Once you've made it, you can literally stick it up anywhere. Like, see, this is my bed. Those are my babies. And opposite this I've got like a blank wall. So my plan is to get a massive canvas like across this back wall and basically fill it with all of my like dreams and hopes. And so when I wake up every morning, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna see my massive vision board, and I wake up every day and that's the first thing I see, and I know that's what I need to do. And I'll leave my Pinterest linked in the bio so you can see what my vision board looks like. And a lot of it is materialistic, I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes material is good. Like obviously money can't buy you complete happiness and everything, but money is really fun. I just wanted to put that out there because I know it looks really materialistic, but like just having like a visualization of like, this is what my life is going to be if I pull myself together. Yeah, I think it's really good to have a vision board because you are going to be unmotivated. Like don't think that after you've watched this video and you're like, okay, I'm going to meet my goals, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you follow all of the advice in this video, don't think that you're going to like be all good, because as much as I hope that you can, burnout is inevitable. And I think there is going to be a lot of times where you have a setback or you have an off day and you're like, I'm not like cut out for this, I can't do this, I'm not doing it anymore. But you need to be able to visualize that, like, no, like this is all of the things that I want and this is all of the things that I'm gonna have, I just need to work at it. If you do make a vision board, or even if you don't but you just have a set like image in mind, then I definitely recommend you try and keep it in sight as much as possible. So like if you make a mood board on your phone, maybe you could make it your home screen and lock screen just so you can see it a lot. And like one other thing is that like since I was like, I say like 12, I've had this obsession with Teslas. Like I love Teslas. I think I mentioned it in my first video. So what I did when I bought my new phone is I downloaded the Tesla app, and obviously I don't have a Tesla, not right now, not yet, mark my words, not yet, but I have the Tesla app downloaded and it's the only app that's in my dock. So every time I'm on my phone and I'm sort of procrastinating and you're in that like aimless scrolling between all of the different apps and stuff, in between that I see my little Tesla app and I'm like, am I doing enough to be able to eventually use that app? No, I'm not. I'm not working hard enough to get my dream life and my dream car that I've wanted ever since I was 12 years old, so I need to get up and do something. When I just feel like I'm losing hope, at least I've got my visions out and I can see them all the time. I've constantly got reminders, just always thinking about my goals, and I think it's so important because it helps you stay on track, you know? Like keep the mission in mind. Yes. So part 3 is actually starting to make these changes and put it from like a mindset in your head to actually materializing it. I'm going to start off this part with a little bit of a spoiler into one of the coming videos in which I took it upon myself to become that girl in 2 weeks. So essentially like waking up at 5 AM so I can work out and like shower and get ready properly. So then once I get back from college, all I have to do is study and go sleep. And this is something that I found in life as well, which I wanted to bring up. I think the fact that it was a challenge and like it's just 2 weeks, like I have to wake up and do all of these like hard things for 2 weeks, but then it'll be over and then it'll be fine. Like that was the premise of this challenge, and I ended up loving the routine so much that I now consistently wake up every day at 5 AM so I can work out and start my morning off as great as I can. I think the thing is that a big reform that is like seems like such a big task is so daunting to take on, so we usually just avoid it completely. But like say if there's like a big essay or like some like revision or something that you're really struggling to like get started on, just sit yourself down and say, okay, for the next 15-20 minutes I'm gonna revise, that is all. And then you'll sit down, set the timer, start working, work consistently, and just keep telling yourself it's only 20 minutes, let me just try and get as much done as possible. And I guarantee you that by the end it'll be like, okay, you know what, I'm like on a roll now, I might as well just carry on. And like that happens to me every single time, like without fail. Like with this whole like reform that I have had, I would never have done it if I was just like, okay, you know what, now one, I'm a different person. But the fact that I said, okay, you know what, for 2 weeks I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make a video on it, and I'm just gonna see how it goes. And then it so happened that I enjoyed it so much that I'm now consistently making the that girl routine my own routine. Like that's my life now. That's my life now. Wow. If you give it like a set time limit, then it's not as much pressure to like commit to it straight away, because you have the chance to walk away after that set amount of time. But what you'll find is that when you actually commit to it, you're not actually going to want to stop. I'm just going to mention a few other things. Going off on a whole tangent here, something that could potentially sabotage my whole career as a content creator, but I'm going to tell you anyways because I'm that nice of a guy. Social media is not your friend. I know you've heard this 1,000,001 times, but hear me out, okay? I want to be a content creator and I want to work in social media, marketing, PR, and obviously my own social media platforms. So trust me when I say I know what algorithms are, I know what they do, I know how they get you hooked, I know how they get me hooked, and I know exactly all of their dirty little tricks. If I was not a aspiring social media content creator, I would have deleted all of my social medias a long time ago and just focused on my studies. Well, at least I would have deleted them in my peak study times. Even though social media is the greatest thing, which is why I want to do it as a career anyway, what you have to remember is that social media is so commercialized now. Like, there is so much money involved, and what that means is your scrolls and your likes and the amount that you carry on scrolling and scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is the worst one for it. And I just cannot stress enough how many like psychology tricks they literally use to keep you scrolling all of the time. I'm literally going into a media related degree, most likely digital media and communications. Trust me, I definitely recommend that you go onto Netflix and you watch The Social Dilemma. It literally changed my perception of these social media, and it literally made me want to delete everything, but I didn't because it's my dream job. But if social media like wasn't my dream career, I would literally have like a Nokia phone like during exam season. It's not your fault that like you're addicted to social media, but you need to take that into your own hands and deal with it. And I just think it's an important thing. But yeah, I've gone on a massive tangent there, and this video is already, it's long. So part 4, we've finally made it to the end. Positive reinforcement. What I mean by positive reinforcement is the fact that we learn through rewards or punishments. So if all of my A-level psychologists, Sterner and his rats, you know, if you remember, if you know, you know. So a positive reinforcement is pretty much just rewarding yourself. When you watch this video and you're like, okay, I'm gonna revise, when you get your A stars, let yourself get gassed up. Obviously don't be an idiot about it. If everybody else failed the test and you're like, yeah, A-star babes. Like, obviously be respectful and be nice. Say if you got the good grade on a Friday and then on a Saturday you're like, you know what, I'm gonna sleep in, or I'm gonna go out, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Do something fun. And I think it helps so much, because linking back to point 1 about like dopamine hits and stuff, if you associate that happiness and that reward with the fact that you studied for the test, if you link that happiness and that rush of dopamine and the happy chemicals and everything good with the fact that you studied the few days before, and that's going to create that link that you need to become addicted to studying. Do you see how this video's gone full circle? I've planned this bloody well. Let yourself enjoy when you do good, and make sure you appreciate it, because obviously I've given you guys advice on how I pressurize myself into getting these good grades, but obviously it's important to let yourself enjoy it when you do good as well. So then when you get back home, once you've had your little break and your little celebration of doing well, you're like, oh my god, I'm excited to study, because then when I study, I'm gonna feel this way after my next test, and the next one, and the next one, and it's literally just gonna become a chain reaction. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you stay subscribed, because if you enjoy this sort of video, I will gladly do more. So I will see you, I don't want to say next week because I have exams coming up and I want to stay focused, but hopefully I will be back soon. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see anything else in the comments, and I will see you at some point. Oh my god, I need water. My throat is literally killing me because I've been speaking for 47 minutes straight. Bye.